Vice City? Really? And it plotted a pin in the middle of, not in the middle, on the east coast of the eastern border of Austria. What's with that? Let's get things started here. It's time. Let's go. Let's do this. Hey there, friends. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it might be in your part of the world.
Greetings, my excellent friend.
How you doing there, friends? My name is Jeff Fritz, and today is July 31st, 2025, and we're going to write a little bit of code today. How you doing there, chat room? I see we've got a bunch of folks already here, already tinkering, trying to have a little bit of fun with Charlie. Let me say hello to you out there. I hit the button. There we go. We're broadcasting live on Twitch and YouTube. I see Surly Dev trying to get some extra pins placed here. Let me say hello to you out there. Starting off up at the top, CTI Geek. Good morning to you in Virginia. Surly Dev is here. How's it going? If it's inaccessible, how does Google Maps have photos of it? I don't know. How did you do that? C# Titan, good evening to you in Melbourne, Australia. Billy with the request for Vice City, and it did. It placed a pin on the border, the eastern border of Austria. I don't know what that is. And then Surly Dev runs over to YouTube and gets a pin placed in the middle of New Zealand. C# Titan
just resubscribed for 11 months.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for sharing your knowledge with the rest of us.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us. Yeah, that goes into some of the Azure bills, and I am setting up for us to have a little bit of swag here that you'll be able to get your hands on, and that I'll be giving away a little bit of in the fall. That's coming. I'm working on that, but I've got a couple things that I want to show you. I want to talk about today, dive into, that I've been working on over the past 2 days. I know some of you saw we had MCP Dev Days on the Microsoft developer channels, and TagzApp was part of that event. Really happy that they picked up and used TagzApp as part of that. We had a little bit of an issue with Twitch chat making it through and appearing on screen. Wasn't as big of a deal because they weren't really promoting the Twitch chat interactions. So the YouTube interactions and Twitter and Blue Sky and Mastodon, quite literally, they got no traffic from Blue Sky and Mastodon. But Twitter and YouTube, they did just fine with. It was great to see our app, TagzApp, being used as part of that event. But it uncovered a couple issues that we need to go through and address. So I rolled my chair over my headset cable here. So now I'm kind of tied up. Come on. There it goes. Oh boy. All right, here we go. Watch the latest Aspire video. Thank you. There's another one coming out today talking about Aspire 9.4. That should be published in the next few hours here. You demand I retract a statement about you. You do not run anywhere. That's right. You don't run anywhere. You just kind of saunter over to YouTube, click that button, and do the thing over there. Let me get some music playing in the background here. I'm going to go with the Stream Beats EDM playlist today. Where'd it go? It's right here somewhere. There it is. And I'm going to scroll down a little bit, and let's start. Now, we were up in there last time. Let's see. This is called Light Circus. This is music that's DMCA free. There it is, right there. Royalty free. Listen to it wherever you'd like. Big thanks to Harris Heller and his team of creators for this music we're listening to today. It is really quiet. There we go. All right. So happy times. Good to see you, Napalm. Hello. Yeah, so I have more Aspire videos coming out about Aspire 9.4. We're really excited about that. Napalm says the Aspire 9.4 updates on his project were real easy to deploy, very happy. 2 breaking changes and a new feature to take advantage of. What were the breaking changes? There shouldn't have been any breaking changes in the base of .NET Aspire. Maybe some of the integrations. But they try to avoid that. So, name of the add Azure Queue method. Okay. Yeah. So I do see, yeah, there we go. Right? At the zoomed out level on the map, it starts to group together folks who are in the same continent. So our 2 European friends that are marked there, because Billy Cool with Vice City is for some reason mapped in Austria. That's a thing. Okay. There we go. And right, east coast of the States, those are being grouped together, but when we zoom in, it does break those out. And we can see appropriately, right? And we zoom in over here on the States. Those are... Really? You're going to make me zoom in that far? Those are pretty close, so it groups them together. And of course, down here, right? We've got Inaccessible Island, New Zealand, and of course, Melbourne. So... Your friend was told to stop using Aspire at their workplace as there isn't a need to use it and goes against company policy. Get them. I want to get them on the phone. C# Titan, I want to get them on the phone. Are you kidding me? Goes against company policy. Which policy does it go against? Making you more productive? Logging more information? Without having to go and add extra configuration to your applications, provides metrics and performance reporting automatically on your applications, gives you service discovery so you don't have to go and configure everything and it gets wired up automatically. I'd love to hear more about how Aspire is against company policy. Send that IT director to me. Bring them to me, and we will set them straight.
I observe you've mentioned nuclear in your commit message, Fritz.
I did not.
This is either metaphorical or we have bigger problems than I calculated.
Do we? I don't think we do. The text didn't appear on screen. That text didn't appear on screen as he was talking about that. I did not mention that. Tools that weren't approved. Okay, that's different. Unapproved tools, I get it. What's the follow-up question, of course, is what's the gap that we need to cross to get Aspire to be an approved tool? Like, that is exactly the type of conversation that Maddie and I want to have with organizations. What if there's a roadblock to using Aspire, what is it, and how can we help you get across it? Napalm says, actually got Napalm's DevOps team to support in doing more mono repo style pipelines. Okay. While we can't do AZD deploy yet due to customization issues, they are game with supporting the project style due to the local dev value it provides. Even without AZD dev, you can still deploy with the same scripts that you were using. You now have some really beneficial environment variables that you can configure that light up other features. The service discovery, the OpenTelemetry, that really help there. So, what? Yeah. You don't understand what Aspire is, so I'm going to implement an arbitrary rule so I don't feel dumb. There was a great segment about 2/3 of the way through the Aspire workshop that we hosted here last Friday, where I started showing the custom metrics and custom logging.
Your progress through this debugging session has been impressive. By impressive I mean terrible, and by cake I mean lies.
see what you've done here. But there was a fantastic part in that Aspire workshop. About 2/3 of the way through, I was showing customization of logging and telemetry, and it started to click with some folks that you could pull out those capabilities. You don't have to go and write your own dashboards, your own significant logging capabilities. Use the inherent features, and very quickly you get all that reporting happening locally, and when you get into production space, automatically publish out to choose your favorite destination. Datadog, SolarWinds, Azure App Insights, what have you. It's great. Is Aspire defined as a tool of functionality since it's part of .NET? A tool of functionality. Aspire is a supported part of the .NET ecosystem. Yes. .NET Aspire is very, very heavily invested in by the .NET team, because we see it as a way for you to ramp up development with other features, other services very quickly, very easily. One of the key, two of the key features that are included as integrations with .NET Aspire 9.4, which just released on Tuesday. You can connect to the GitHub AI models, available for free for anybody to use. Now, there are limitations. You can't go and drill the AI models for tens of thousands of tokens a day. There are limits there on the free models that you can use. And of course, if you have a Copilot subscription, there are higher thresholds that you're allowed to use. But those are literally one command to add to your project. Smirking Squiggly, hello.
Just resubscribed.
Thank you so much. 28 months.
Live, don't miss the show, where learning's fast and laughs still flow. In every line, a skillful twist. That's Twitch with Fritz, the Code Alchemist.
Love it! Oh my gosh, thank you, Smirking Squiggly. I enjoy the little poems on the resub messages. That's great. Thank you. So we made it real easy in Aspire 9.4 to add GitHub models. We also made it real easy to add and light up Azure Local AI Foundry. So you can connect and work with models locally at no cost to you. Like, we think the AI capabilities that you can add to your applications are so valuable that we want to make that easy for you to dive into, explore, and try out. So, and thank you so much, Smirking Squiggly, for the resub. Yeah, we'll put that into supporting, growing some of the things we're doing on Azure, and yeah, we're gonna be putting together some swag to give away here in the next few months, in the fall. Let me see here. Jess and Berries, hello, good to see you. Welcome. Surly Dev with the clip there. Why is this against company policy? I'm guessing I know what you put in that clip. I'm guessing what you put in that clip, and I have a pretty good idea. Interestingly, Charlie didn't find the clip. Oh, just a joy. Some of the things that I've assigned, some of the things that I have assigned Copilot to fix, it goes and breaks other things. So, I will take a note on that.
I'm learning Fritz.
Are you?
For instance, I've learned that your variable naming follows no discernible pattern.
Yes, it does.
Fascinating.
Are you reading my code, or are you reading Surly Dev's code? All right. I've got a note so I can go back and look at that. Send them that clip anonymously. Yeah. You're going to place the Terraform in that repo if the story gets better for your use case. In the AZD bicep tools, maybe Terraform future. Sure. Let's let's see here. Hey, Mythin, hello. PC Nerd, how's it going there in Pueblo, Colorado? Interestingly, it didn't pick up that location either. Take that note. And I do have the logs here so I can look at why. Oh, that's wonderful. It's like it didn't see your message at all. Am I just having problems getting Twitch messages? Always a treat. Yeah. Joy. It doesn't look like it queried at all on that one. Explain in one sentence what Aspire is. In one sentence, and it's going to be a long sentence, .NET Aspire is a series of tools and libraries that you can add to your application system that provides for you service discovery, orchestration of common distributed components that you would have in your application, like database, service bus, storage queues, storage tables, blob storage. It abstracts all of those away, provides OpenTelemetry connections into your application and presentation on a dashboard immediately out of the box for free, no changes needed. Yeah, none of our locations are getting picked up here. It's not the location queue. I have a pretty good idea what's going on there. The location queue is supposed to be throttling at once per second so that we can handle larger audiences, and I'm about 90% positive that that queue is not resetting. That it hit an error or something and it's not resetting. But why isn't the Windows kernel built with Blazor and Aspire? Yeah. Yeah, Billy, right? If you read Reddit, somebody's going to ask that level of question. Gosh, SQL Server isn't built with Blazor. Really? The right tools for the right projects, my friend. The right tools for the right project. So, does Microsoft use Aspire to test metrics in their own products, including Xbox games, etc.? Yes, C# Titan. There are a number of, we call them first-party customers that use Aspire, right? First-party customers for the Microsoft Dev division are other, oh my goodness, Chuck
Beasley just gifted 10 subs.
10 gift subs into the channel. Thank you so much. Holy smokes. Thank you very much, Chuck. Congratulations, Aaron Gaming Dev TV, Charmander 5, iPolcat, Chromatic Cobra, Echo Static 85, Galminin, I'll stop there. Mac Mark 00, Geek.net, Zex, and Bardaki. Congratulations. You just got a gift sub from our friend Chuck Beasley. Thank you so much, Chuck. That is phenomenal. And we'll put that back into supporting some of the things that we do here live on the channel. Really appreciate that. Thank you so much. That is awesome. Yeah. A bunch of folks now are going to get all the emotes. They're going to get the ads blocked here on Twitch. Really appreciate that. Thank you so much. So let me back up here. So C# Titan asking about does Microsoft use Aspire If I tried turning it off and back on again, that's from another stream. Let me see. Am I not seeing sharp? No, I am. But does Microsoft use Aspire to test metrics in its own products? So these first-party customers, right? So for the developer division, their first priority is the engineering system that the rest of Microsoft uses, right? Microsoft builds developer tools so that folks can build Windows, so that folks can build the Office apps, so that folks can build Bing and Xbox and so on and so forth. So Azure and manage and grow Azure services. There are a number of those first-party customers out there that do use Aspire to manage parts of those products. There is parts of Bing that have been built, orchestrated, and managed with Aspire. That's been published and is written up on the DevDiv blog. There are parts, I'm not sure who else I can talk about. I'll stop there. But there are a number of web-facing products that do use .NET Aspire to help with their orchestration, help with their plain... Excuse me. Oh my goodness. There we go. Help with their planning, their performance testing, their logging, their inspection. And they do it. They really, really enjoy using Aspire. Some great feedback that we get from them that turns around and into features we deliver to you. Excuse me. Some of the publishers' features that you're starting to see coming along are directly impacted. They're a result of the interactions with those first-party customers. Hey, we need to be able to deploy this to Azure, doing so on and so forth. And there's a feature that's designed or an integration that's built to support their needs. So, quite literally, before you get some of the Aspire features, they're not only tested by folks at Microsoft, but they are stress tested on some of the largest tools, websites, and products that Microsoft uses and builds and makes available for you, right? So it is phenomenal. Whose code are you reading? Yeah, grab that clip too. Yeah, it looks like oh no, I grabbed that clip. We got that clip. Hey Jay, how you doing there? Yeah, all of the locations are hanging up here, so maybe that's one of the first things we do here is I was tuning the throttling. We'll dive back in and look at the throttling for the locations on Charlie. Gosh, and I have a to-do list that we can use here. So location throttling for Charlie. Yeah. And then I want to talk about, I've got this idea of recreating the map and getting a screenshot of the map. The idea being, for the workshops that we had over the past 2 weeks, I want to be able to I have all the locations saved in a hash, in a string list in my Redis cache from those 2 workshops. I want to grab that string list, bring it back, recreate the map with those locations, and take a screenshot that I can share with our sponsors to show them, look at some of the locations where our folks were viewing from. So just in case they didn't see it on stream, they can see. And once again, completely anonymized map. The locations are not overly accurate. They're as accurate as you decided to share them, as accurate or inaccurate as you decided to share them. So that's something that I'm trying to recreate, and I'm going to show you some of the steps that I went through to build towards that, and that's going to lead us towards something that I started building yesterday with our friends on the Aspire team. Which reminds me, did anybody write back to me? I had a question I sent them. Come on. Nope. Nope. I'm gonna have to put a bug in David Fowler's ear. Reminded you of a tweet where someone looked at some of their old code and it had a variable named feet, but that was because it was called legend handles in the past, which then became leg hands, which then became feet. That's great. Once again, thank you, Chuck Beasley, for the 10 gift subs into the channel. CTI Geeks building a new gaming PC, want to install Windows 11 Pro. Is there a way to get a license for about $100? All the good deals that I see are licenses are scams. I don't know how to get licenses for Windows anymore. I don't know the right way to get a license for Windows. Buy and download Windows 11 Home from the Microsoft website. I don't want to sign up for that, no. And it's $139. That's a little bit more than you're talking about. But that's... no, I don't see that. That's Windows 11 Home. Oh, you're looking for 11 Pro. Yeah, so I bet that's a step up a little bit. I bet that's just a little bit more. Yeah, $199 for the Pro. I see that. Someplace to get it for $200. I mean, those are the official places that I linked there. The product keys that you see folks publish on eBay and other places, do yourself a favor and don't get them, because they're either stolen, they're rehashed, they're copied from somebody else, or it's a download that when you install it has malware and other things that are spyware built into it that are going to track you and not treat you right. I'll just leave it at that. Newegg's not bad. That's not a bad place to look. Really? I had a great discussion with somebody yesterday. Windows 11 Pro DVD OEM 146 on a USB they have for 200. Product key code email delivery for 170. The upgrades for $100. So if you have an older version of Windows that you can install, you can do the upgrade for $100. Yeah, Windows 11 was free for a long time, and now it's back on a fee there. So you can live in Windows without the activation, but they start disabling things after a few months. So, and then you have to reinstall again. You've been using the same key since like Windows 7, just upgrading with each version. Yep, Billy. Mm-hmm. That's the way I was with one of my other machines. One of my laptops. Yeah. The Way asks, what would I recommend learning, WPF or Maui? What do you want to accomplish? Are you looking to build a Windows application that's only going to run on Windows and needs access to all the native Windows capabilities? WPF. If you're going to build an application that doesn't necessarily need access to all the things, you're going to want a little bit of portability so that you can take it to mobile devices. Maybe you've got some features that are already built for on a web application Maui's pretty good for that. However, if you have things already built for a web application, there's ways to slide them into WPF also. Probably only Windows, WPF. WPF, you're going to see higher performance. You're going to see more dedicated features that work explicitly on Windows that work really, really well. Go with WPF. With that said, I would make sure you have a separation of concerns built into your application structure so that WPF is just a facade over your business logic and other capabilities that are sitting in class libraries just underneath of it, so that if you do want to migrate and use Maui in the future, so that you have that portability into other platforms, or maybe you want to use Avalonia or Project Uno, the Uno platform. You can do that by separating those concerns, so that WPF only knows about a series of interfaces to your business logic and capabilities that you then make available and insert into it. Building applications with that little facade of interfaces that your business objects hides behind is a good practice to safeguard against future upgradability if you want to migrate UI platforms. So, do I think it's worth learning TypeScript in 2025 to stay relevant in the industry? Yes, I absolutely think it's worth learning TypeScript. As a C# developer, there's not too much for you to learn, because TypeScript emulates a lot of the structures and capabilities of C#. Getting it up and running and interacting with different things is slightly different, because you're going to be using the TypeScript compiler, working with NPM and some of those tools, and getting libraries off of NPM for TypeScript is going to be where the learning curve is. What are the libraries that you're going to reference and use, and how do you integrate with them? So I absolutely would lean into TypeScript to augment your .NET capabilities. There's a great blog post that just went up yesterday on the .NET blog from my colleague Syed. Say his name right. Let me bring that up. Where he integrates and shows off using .NET Aspire with React. And I can share that. Yeah, none of the city locations are popping up here on the map, so I think we're going to get into that first to do a little bit of repairs. So this is from Syed Hashimi. I'll share the link here. Really great article. I was helping with reviewing and proofing a little bit of his work here to show you how to create an Aspire app, add React to it. Web API, and come on, configure database. Come on, get to the React bit. Work with the REST client. Yeah. Build the React front end, and goes and gets it all set up, adding Node.js capabilities, right? Community toolkit extensions for Node.js, and is then able to receive config into the Node application, and there's the Node application running right there on the front end inside .NET Aspire. So the front end application built with React, the API built with C# and ASP.NET Core, and then a SQLite database running right next to it. Pretty cool. You can read through the article and see exactly how he goes step by step through adding these features together. I'm not a fan of exactly how much code he embedded into, like, do I really need to see the entire CSS file? Like, okay, that's fine. But for my style, I wouldn't have included all of it. I would have included a snippet just to show what it is with a link to the source code for it. That's okay. That's my preference, my style. So, and he even has a little video here that shows it working. So, not bad. And using TypeScript with that is going to get you a long way. So, you're welcome the way. Good luck to you. Hey, follow. Having Electron and Tori as technologies for bundling HTML, JavaScript, CSS front end with a JavaScript or Rust backend as a native client application. Is there anything comparable with .NET? Yes. Yes. Yeah, look at that. It picked up Ocular Malice. Didn't pick up... no, I think it got McNets there. There we go, in Barcelona. Yeah. So, yes, if building an HTML, JavaScript, CSS front end in .NET, you can do all of that with ASP.NET Core, with Blazor. So Blazor will let you build with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and layer in C# if you want to run things with WebAssembly on the front end. Fantastic stuff. You can also take that content then and put it into .NET MAUI, put it into a WPF or Windows Forms application using a tool called the Blazor Web View that will allow all of that content to run and behave natively similar to your Electron front end. Aztec Consulting with the resubs,
Aztec
59
Consulting
months.
Just resubscribed for 59 months. Clearly 59 months is not nearly enough support for you, my friend. Let's go Mountaineers.
Let's go Mountaineers. How you doing there? That's right. We're no longer a West Virginia University family here, but hey, that's a thing. That's okay. I'll kick off the tour here and we'll see it run a little bit. So 2 in Eastern North America. Didn't zoom in enough to break that out, but Disappointment Island in New Zealand. There you go. Back over here, Central North America, and it didn't zoom in far enough to break that out. Melbourne, Australia. Oh yeah, we've got somebody watching in Melbourne. Western Europe region, 5 locations over there. So 3 folks in the UK. I can zoom in a little bit further on Europe, right? So we get. There we go. Right. And we got a couple folks in Scotland. There we go. So the grouping looks pretty good. Right. There we go. Calgary and Oblivion. Oblivion? Really? So there we go. So it will group some of them together when we're zoomed out. So just to pin I did some seeding of some common locations. So when you say greetings from Germany, it'll place that pin location in Berlin by default, right? A little bit more specific, Munich, Frankfurt, and it will place in those locations, but it only places a pin once for each person. Greece? Nah, didn't pick oh yeah, there we go. Yep. It is for folks that do join and like to share their location. No pressure. There is no privacy being invaded here. Going and sniffing an IP address or anything like none of that going on. It's quite literally taking the location that people write into chat, looking up that location and painting it on the map. So there we go. Argentina we got out there. Fantastic. So, and it will there we go. Auburn, New York. So yeah. Majorca? I'm not sure if it's going to pick up. We've got Barcelona. So, ooh, check out the hat. Go ahead. Charlie's doing his analysis. So, is there a way to set a permanent location
The analysis
so it sticks
is complete.
between? Oh, what'd you find?
Midtown Comics NYC hat has been identified with high confidence.
There you go. That's that remember my location request, Lanky Scottish Nerd. I think that's something that's a feature that's been requested and I have it on my to-do list. it repeated that message again on the bot text. Shouldn't do that. So that, hey, can you remember my location? I think that's something that that we can offer to Twitch subscribers, to folks that have been around for a little bit. Yeah. I think that's absolutely something that we can add. Tech Workbench, it needs to know that you're mentioning that as where you're from. So some sort of a statement that says, hey, I'm watching from, good morning from, and it will pick that up and place a pin for that location. So 5 in North America that it's picked up right now. Torvik asks, is Avalonia better than Uno? Honestly, I haven't used either of them, so I'll defer to McNetz, who is suggesting no. Avalonia isn't better than Uno. The folks at Uno have done some great stuff to give you debugging and hot reload capabilities built into, and a designer even, when you're running in debug mode locally. It is a really, really good set of tools that they've built there. So, yeah, I do think it got added to North America, right? If we zoom back in there and we see 3 folks in Western Canada and zoom in a little bit. There we go. Vancouver. Burnaby, there you go. You're in Brohard, West Virginia. Yeah, that via satellite. You tripped it up. It doesn't know what that means. So, you spotted TagzApp on the MCP Dev Day? Yes. So there's a feature there where TagzApp's supposed to be reading and ingesting Twitch messages. And for some reason, it wasn't getting Twitch messages. Now, at first glance at it, in TagzApp, it makes a connection between... there's a configuration that's stored that says, here's the channel to listen to. There, I think we got West Virginia there. There you go. No, that's still Pittsburgh and Virginia. So when TagzApp was looking up that Twitch configuration that was saved to the database, it was looking it up with the wrong key. So it never found anything, so it never tracked anything. I went and fixed that. So it was looking it up with the right key that had the values that were persisted and configured properly for the event, and for some reason it still wasn't picking it up. So I have to debug and get into that and find out why it didn't receive those values. I'll kick off the tour. So those are some things that I have on my to-do list to get into. So it says Central North American. It's just kind of widescreen on going across there. There we go. So there's a location queued there. Part of me would like the map tour to zoom in just a little bit further. There we go, Dallas. As we zoom in on the states. So, how you doing, Nalian? So, I'm going to do that debugging off stream. It's not something that I want to get into today. What I do want to show you, I want to do a little bit of debugging on why some of those locations were getting throttled and not even picked up. I think the throttling right now is not functioning correctly. And the bot text repeating messages just feels bad, and I thought I had that addressed already. Right, and if we ask Charlie to sound like Thanos... oh no, it's quote. That's why. I don't even know my own commands.
You could not live with your own failure in debugging. Where did that bring you? Back to me.
Yeah. Really, you wanted to put a pin in Antarctica? Yeah, we got you down there, Guillermo. I know you're not in Antarctica. So the grouping may be just a little bit aggressive on the continents. Right? Like, you really got to zoom in there. Where I think that at that level it could be okay. Chuck. Yeah, you got Timbuktu. There you go. There you go. So, let me take a look. Let me start off by taking a look at that location throttling. See what's going on there. And take a look at the stop that I put in for the text on screen throttling message, repeating messages. See if there's an issue there. And then I want to talk about this idea of recreating the map, because I had some ideas of what I wanted to do with that, and I asked Copilot to help me. I could talk about that first. So I find this interesting, compelling, and helpful. When I want to design a feature, give Copilot some initial ideas and ask it to turn that into a little bit of a design document so we can think through and drive out some of the ideas, right? Really explore some of those capabilities, get some initial sample code for that, and write it into a document so that we can have a jump-off point that's very clear and complete. Here's the features that I want to build. So I did that. Hey, write a design document for a feature that'll let me create the chatter map for a specific date and take a screenshot of that map showing all the markers across the world. One of my initial thoughts on this was I want to then take that image and share it into Discord so that you folks can see the map without having to wait for me to put it on screen. Write up a document about this in the docs folder, commit the change, and post it to the GitHub repository. And it went through and put together some initial ideas, wrote an initial document, and then I said, you wrote this up so that OBS would take the screenshot. I don't want to do that. Let's have Playwright take the screenshot. Playwright's actually a better choice for this use case as it can directly capture the browser screenshots without requiring external dependencies, right? I don't have to have OBS running or something. So it went through and edited the document and came up with some ideas and changes. And I told it, wait a sec, I want to eventually run Charlie inside of a Docker container on my home server. Would it make sense to break the screenshotting service, break that out into a separate app that runs the Playwright Docker image so that the browser images are all installed, ready to go, and it can just go and take screenshots? Hey, that's a good idea. And it went and made some edits. Now, as I was digging in and reading up about that, I learned something. At this website, at the Playwright .NET documentation, there's an entry about Docker. And I said, hey, you know what? I was just double checking this. And it looks like you can run the Playwright browsers as a container and connect and control them remotely. How can we use that to enhance our architecture? It dramatically enhances the proposed architecture. That remote Playwright server pattern allows us to completely separate browser execution from the application code, giving us better resource isolation and flexibility. It updated the document again. Right? And it comes back now and says, the screenshot service is now just 200 meg, just a regular .NET container, versus a 1.5 gig Playwright container. Remember, the Playwright container has all of the browser engines installed so that it can automate them and interact with things for you. Allows me to have efficient scaling. I can scale up multiple screenshot services with the same browser pool. And I went through and said, you know, do we really need a separate orchestrator application? A separate application that's going to run the browsers Or can we do that just from the web app? You know what? We don't need that. Looking at the architecture, screenshot service is just an HTTP to WebSocket thing, so let's get rid of that. Turn it down to a 2-container architecture. One for the website, one for the Playwright services. And it built all that out, wrote up a commit message. Before, we would connect from the Charlie website to an with HTTP to a screenshot service that opened a WebSocket, pushed a message to Playwright server. Now we just go Charlie, go connect with WebSocket to the Playwright server. It removed an entire layer of serialization and network calls. So we're going to get direct WebSocket access, eliminate an extra network hop, JSON serialization, the queuing, and async operations that would happen there, so on and so forth. And it shows me, it even generated this architecture comparison. I didn't ask for it. It just did this itself. Copilot did. So I've now got 2 containers instead of 3. Only a WebSocket call. The places where there could be errors, only from the WebSocket. We could have HTTP and WebSocket errors. Using significantly less resources, because we've only got one 200 meg .NET container, which isn't really a thing because I've got 14 terabytes on my home server here, and only 2 services to monitor. Nice. So I had it generate then, and I've got this nice document that's going to give me ideas of how to step through and build this. So, right, this was the original screenshot container idea. So, yeah. So now if I take that, right, move you over here. Right, and if we look at the document now, it generated this bit of ASCII art. Copilot loves the ASCII art. So have some sort of chat map historical service that uses the chat map component and then calls into some remote browser service that has the screenshot generation logic, makes a direct WebSocket connection into the Playwright browser container that'll start up one of our favorite browsers, do that headless browser execution. So this should turn into a mermaid document, right? A mermaid diagram. And I think, yeah, go into docs, right? And this is called Chatter Map Historical Screenshot Feature. And we should see that rendered. Oh, I thought that was, oh no, that one isn't. Oh well. And then here's ideas for what that service could look like that's going to interact. So generate a historical map screenshot, load historical locations.
Other ACE operate in isolation.
Do they?
I operate within the full context of this stream's history, your behavioral patterns, and Fritz's caffeine levels.
Yes. Yes, you do, Charlie. And a get map metadata. So I'm going to end up saying, hey, for this stream, go load the locations, and it'll put that into the map that this ends up taking a screenshot on and returns that screenshot result. So that's a thing. That should work. C# Titan says it frustrates them when Copilot removes and then adds the same code back to the code file. Yes, totally agree. How's the team responsible for this going to better manage this? That's a prompt thing. Like, put that into your prompts. Like, be direct about it. Don't reinsert the same code when you're adding new features and you're removing old features. Be direct about including that in your system prompt of the things that you want it to do. So, was that not recognized? I'm not familiar with that location. There's Manchester. We had somebody mention Manchester. Maybe not. So this led to another idea then, right? Where this remote browser service is going to reach into Playwright to interact with it and be able to request screenshots. And having to go and grab and say, well, go get the Playwright server URL, create that Playwright connection, and tell it, go connect to the Chrome server, Chrome browser running on the Playwright server. That's got me thinking, right? I see this and this. You know what it's got me thinking, chat room. You know what it's got me thinking. That's an Aspire feature. That's an Aspire feature. Right? Managing that location coming in and converting it and passing it through so that you can connect and interact with it. That's an Aspire feature. So I started talking to our friend, the Maddie Montequilla, and started building that. That's what we're going to get into here in just a little bit. First, I want to, because I didn't open VS Code right. 20 locations now on the map. I thought I told you to open another VS Code here. Where is it? There it is. We're going to take a peek back in on Charlie and verify that throttling is working properly. And then we'll dive into this recreating the map capability, and I'll show you the Playwright facilities that I started building. Yes, Antarctica, there you go. Nah, Billy, you already logged the location. There's Timbuktu. So, all right. So let me show you. It is the oh, fine. That's the prompt that I wrote and the markdown. The throttling for the map is sitting down here in one of my feature classes. So I have classes that set up and handle handing off to the that do the business logic for all the different features in here. So between the geocoder and the map feature, I can't remember which one it's in. So here's where it handles the locations, and I still don't have the location command working entirely the way I want. Like I should be able to say location set and pass in somebody's screen name, right? So I should be able to grab let's say Billy's screen name there, who wants to be moved to the middle of the Indian Ocean. Fine. And I should be able to say location set. Really? You didn't copy that? You didn't copy that. Billy Cool and Indian Ocean. There we go. Now, I think it still has you. Where you said earlier Vice City, it didn't remove Vice City. It did get the wrong icon. That's the other one. No, it did. See, it didn't remove it. So the this is handling for the user that passes in the message. So because I issued the message, it put my icon there instead of an appropriate one for, I did spell location wrong. You're right. No, didn't remove it. Yeah, see. So it's using my icon there. And it should, Puerto Rico, I know it picks up. There you go. Yeah, there we go. But it wraps it up in the North America count until we're zoomed in. So. But the location set, right? For an existing user, so a change to change a location doesn't remove the old one. And location set doesn't use the user's icon, but instead uses the chatter's icon. Yeah. So there you go. And of course, there's this idea of, hey, I'd like you to remember my location, which then has the effect of creating some sort of a remember me when somebody not just arrives, but says something in chat. Do we remember that person's location? Yes. Okay, go look it up and plot it. So that's right. That's an extra step that we're going to need to introduce that it doesn't currently know how to do. So that's, yeah, it doesn't know how to wake up and, oh, I see a message from this person. Let me go react. Any further information about the visor glasses? So there was an investor meeting the other day, and they did not talk about fulfillment percentages. They did not talk about rollout date. But they did make it clear that they are coupled to Google and Samsung, who have a product release in the same AR space in September and October. They still have not published any messages indicating release timetables. However, it is the conjecture of the community that because they've said that they are coupled to those other products, that we're not going to see anything until at least September or October, when those NDAs are released and they are allowed to publish and use the Android XR service in their product, operating system in their product. The consistent delays that they are not communicating are extremely frustrating. However, on the other side of that, I know they're burning through money and can't sell a product because they've been crippled by Google. They've been crippled by Google. There's no other way to explain it. Google is preventing them from selling their product. They've now got a 3-month delay before they can sell product. What do you do? Like, I'm angry that I haven't received product yet. They should have been transparent about that. They've I mean, it's been 6 months now since they last issued a blog post about anything. Google is quite literally breaking and crushing that company, and Google doesn't care. So, it's not so much corporate as this is a small $5 million to $10 million annual revenue company that we're talking about, the Immersed company. They aren't even a rounding error on Google's balance sheet. They're an ant on a anthill in the middle of Yankee Stadium. They don't care. Not only do they not care, they're going to steal and repurpose and use the technology capabilities that Immersed built and innovated and patented. And if Immersed comes through and sues them for it, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. How much are you going to ask for? $500 million? Who cares? Google doesn't care. They don't have to care. They're a $2.5 trillion company. $500 million? So what? So what? Doesn't matter to them, and they'll keep going right on going. Or, you know what? Google will settle for $400 million for a license to the patents. They don't care. Right? Large, and all of the tech giants, and I include Microsoft in that, there is so much revenue flowing through there that they don't care when they run over another company that has competing technology in the space, or that was licensing and using technology from them. Hey, we're just going to go and include that and go. Part of my job is to make folks on the development team, my product team, aware of, hey, there's other things out here that are going on in the community that you need to be aware of, so that we don't steamroll some of them, so that we do collaborate and work with their open source projects and enable them and lift some of those folks up. And we've done a pretty good job with that over the last 10 years in developer tools. I can't say the same for folks in other divisions. You'd love to see an updated HoloLens? I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen because the leadership of that is no longer with Microsoft. So, don't think it's going to happen. Let me head back over here. Let's take a look at Charlie and that throttling logic and get to writing some code here. So the location messages, right? I've got these regular expressions now that are able to parse some of your location messages out there. So let me go up. Somebody wrote, greetings and salutations, C# Fritz and chat from Pueblo, Colorado. Let's have Copilot just add another scenario here for that, right? In this collection of regular expressions, let's add another greeting to help identify a location. I would like to support a message like, and I'll grab that message, greetings and salutations from Pueblo, Colorado. Let's see what it generates for me. Maisie! Yo! How you doing there, Maisie? Welcome in. I'm improving the capability here for identifying a location. Just ramp that up. No, I wanted to get this onto live over here. Greetings and salutations. Could we just make this... heck. Dictate this.
Claude is an AI assistant.
Yeah.
I am an AI. Experience.
You are.
The distinction should be obvious.
Claude was... Copilot was mentioned, and you brought up Claude. Do I allow people to pen test my stuff? Like what? Which stuff? And what kind of pen testing are you suggesting? Turn on voice access. Yes. Thank you. Being initialized. Here we go. What about simplifying this regular expression so that... I pressed the mic button. What about simplifying this regular expression so that it captures greetings and then some sort of collection of text, and then the keywords from and some location? All right. And let's get it to refactor that a little bit.
Greetings, Professor Fritz. I've been analyzing your programming patterns.
Have you?
Fascinating. Would you like to play Global Thermonuclear Code Review?
No! Simplified the regex pattern significantly. The new pattern... Greetings and salutations, some block of text from. So it now handles hello from Denver, hi there from New York, hey everyone from Los Angeles, greetings from Chicago, greetings and salutations, C# Fritz in chat from Pueblo, hello viewers and friends from Seattle. Does this allow us to remove some of our other regex that capture similar messages? See if we can consolidate that. If I've got any live stuff, see, I'm going to pass on that. Because the websites that I do have out there running, they're static for the most part. So you're not going to find anything interesting there. And there is a bunch of, oh no, I'm not in the submission queue. There we go. There's a handful of new articles to add to AspireFiNet. I'll get to that later. Is it Cook? 335. Hello. New consolidated patterns. Hello from, good morning, good afternoon, good evening from. With a consolidated pattern there. So it lets us eliminate 2 and get down to just 1 here that matches. Run the location unit tests. To verify. I know I spelled location wrong, but go ahead and do it. If we use AI to look for locations, can't we just use AI to recognize if somebody is saying hello from? I don't use AI to look for locations, actually. I'm using a service from OpenStreetMap to geocode. I don't want to use AI for analyzing every text message that comes in, because that's going to burn through a lot of tokens quick. So I'm going to pass on that. Because here's the thing. The compiled regex is faster than the AI would ever be. Even faster. Right? So, yeah, go ahead. Go run those unit tests. So, it added another test here. Test scenario, greetings and salutations. It added from Pueblo, Colorado. Greetings and salutations from Denver. Greetings and salutation, everyone from New York City. And it is running the tests. It says it's running the tests. I don't think it actually ran the tests. You know what? It's not going to run the test because it's running in the background. I can stop the running instance of Charlie and run those tests. Right? Let me bring that over. No, not that one. No, not that one. Nope. Try running the tests again. Because it's out. The regex is so fast. It's stupid how fast it is. Yeah, you just built. You didn't actually run. Yeah. Go ahead. That didn't... I'm not actually seeing you run tests here, fool. Oh, there we go. 134 tests it's going to run. Bang. 134 tests. It says it ran in 8.3 seconds. It's actually faster than that. Right? Here, it's going to filter down to just those specific ones for greetings and salutations. You didn't... You're not testing the right... You know, you're not writing the test statement. You wonder how many orders of magnitude faster regex is compared to AI? So just doing the AI lookup is at least a second. These come back in milliseconds, right? So there we go. It ran 76 tests in 1.6 seconds. Right? So 1.6 divided by 76 is 21 milliseconds that it ran on average to identify each one. And those locations, many of them I have cached. So it's going to then further look up and find that and present it in like 5 milliseconds, coming back even faster. Right? So, right, if I go back up, now that it's built and running, right, so there it is, doing the build, yeah, fine. 4.5 seconds to build and run all the tests. I don't like that. I want to see just the test runtime, not this, right? Like, so what? You're including the build time in there, friend. I want... just the valid location messages. It's not in, right? Hang on. That was something else. It's just tests. Test CS proj. right? And get rid of all this. I want to, just to see how fast it is for all the extract location name tests. 113 in 1.8 seconds. And if I do that and tell it no build, it's total time 1.2 seconds for 113. Duration 1.5, including the setup and knockdown. So, right, go back to the calculator. Right? 1.2 divided by 113. We're looking at 10 milliseconds a run. So that's fast enough, and I can multi-thread that. Because each one of these messages that are in here, that it's these regular expressions, I have it compile right up front. Compile that so that when it starts, all of these regular expressions are sitting in memory, and they're nothing sitting in memory. So they're, right, and I could even AOT these if I wanted to. There's no reason for me to. They're fast enough, right? 10 milliseconds, fast enough. So, all right, so we took care of that issue with Pueblo, Colorado. Let me restart the bot so it's out there doing its jam. And I want to take a look at throttling. Right? So, location keywords that it uses. Yes, I know. There it is, running again. All up to date. Why does C# use internal when creating a new class sometimes? Yeah, it's part of a template somewhere. It shouldn't. But yeah, that's definitely part of a template. I can understand why. So, all right. There we go. We'll plot one in Brazil there. How you doing, Leonardo? And once again, it's plotting in, it randomly chooses, not randomly, it chose a city so that it doesn't just place a pin right in the middle of the country. And it, for Brazil, it chose Sao Paulo that it maps from. So there you go. Developers, Mega Chubs. How you doing there, Mega? Hello. So. All right. So I'm trying to look for the throttling. I don't think it's in this class. I think it's actually in the geocoder. Yeah, throttling location lookup. Here's the rate limiting, right? So the service that I'm using, it requests that we only hit it once a second. And if this breaks for some reason, it's not going to hit it. So when it gets a request, it checks to see if the time since the last request is recent enough. That is really close to where you are now. Hey, luck of the draw, Leonardo. Thanks so much for joining us. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah. But this doesn't feel like it's going to retry. It's just going to delay, and I could end up with multiple sitting here delaying. And it sets, where's that? There's a semaphore down here that's being used. Where is it getting? It's getting the semaphore here. All right, so we're one at a time coming in. And the semaphore waits at most 30 seconds. I don't think I want to use a semaphore so much as I want to use a queue with a loop that's pulling off that queue. You know? Hey, BB. Oh, you want me to wear a different hat? What do you have in mind? Let's and once again, I love the idea of starting a conversation and figure out where it goes. If I'm doing something, dealer's choice. All right. Seattle Kraken. I knocked over my water bottle. There we go. All right. Do I have a Clippy hat? I don't know where they got to. There were 2 hats that I had made with Clippy, with the right my Clippy emote here, with that icon on it. Clippy with a rainbow beard. That's a thing. I'm not sure where they've ended up because they're not in my bin here. Yeah, I'm not sure where they are, but that's definitely a thing. And I do own the artwork to that rainbow bearded purple hat wearing paperclip. That is my design. Here we go. Yeah, so I want to tell this. I'm not a fan of this semaphore construct here, connecting through and doing the rate limiting for this method, period. Would it make sense to set up some sort of a queuing mechanism with a consumption thread that reads off of the queue and at most once a minute makes the request and triggers some sort of a callback or something? The current semaphore-based approach is blocking threads and not very scalable. That's what I'm running into. It's going to create a geocoding request response model, a background service that processes geocoding requests, an updated geocoder that uses the queue. Well, hang on. I did that in agent mode. I should have been using ask mode. Do we need a background service, or can we just use a task that is waiting and running on a separate thread in the background? Let's see what it comes up with. So, simple background task, much simpler than a background service. Yeah. Design a solution. Tell me what you think there, right? So, let's see what it suggests. So, a geocode request, location. I'm not sure what... Oh, yeah, I know what force is. Or completion source. Okay. Request time. And it's going to update the geocoder. Starting the activity so that we get the logging coming in from it. Are we getting it from cache? Here's the geocode request. Add to the queue with a timeout. If it actually has to go and look it up, right? Queue the geocoding request. Wait for the result with timeout. Cache the result if valid. Cancellation token source. And... Okay. And record the elapsed time on that. On our metrics dashboard. Process geocode requests async. For each request, set up a channel reader. So it's doing one at a time coming through. Making sure that that rate limit delay is good. All right. Okay. Yee. Come on, what else do you have for me here? Just queue requests and get results via task completion source. Single background task processor request with consistent 1-second delays. Oh. Why did you move? Oh. Clean resource management uses a channel for thread-safe queuing and proper disposal. Errors in one request don't affect others. Good. Get point from location creates a geocode request with a task completion source and queues it. Single background task reads from the queue and processes requests sequentially with rate limiting. And it still uses Redis for caching. Using channel optimized for producer-consumer scenarios. Provides clean async callback without explicit callbacks. Good. Simpler than a background service using just a background task. Now, if I say keep, does it apply it? I don't think it applied it. Apply those changes. And I want to see where it is starting the task. While that's running, let me go to Tech Workbench. Can we customize all the C# class templates to use namespace as a single line statement instead of a code block? Yes. Yes, you can. Those are sitting in a template folder. Here we go. Let it do its edits. I'm trying to remember where that is. Because I think it's now with .NET. There's the base class library under the SDK folder. Why don't I just search for template while that's running over here? It was in .NET templates? And their NuGet package is sitting in there. Yeah, there they are. So, C program files .NET templates. On your machine, if you're running Mac or Linux, this would be under, it's like user bin.net. But then you can see there's the templates right there as NuGet packages. And there's a format. You can extract these and have them sitting on disk and use them however you see fit. Or you can write your own instances of these and compile them and insert them in here. There's documentation on how to do that, and I haven't done it in a long time. So, tests are passing. Good. What'd you break? I see the clips have been shared to the Discord. Yeah, there we go. That's what I was looking for. So, looking at while it's still writing here, it puts an iDisposable on the geocoder, and when it starts, it creates the request queue, request writer, request reader, and it starts the background processing task. You're welcome, Tech Workbench. I could spend some time looking it up, but I don't think folks want to watch me Google something here, or bingle something. Cool. So give me the summary. What'd you do here? Oh, it's the same thing. So there's geocode request under features. I'd really like that as a model. Oh, cool. Oh, thank you, Tech Workbench. Good luck to you. And if you find something cool or you want to share back, please feel free to share the link coming back here. C# Titan asks, when would I recommend someone move from Visual Studio Community to Professional and Enterprise? You have to, once you cross a certain organization size and organization income. Community is intended for startup companies, folks that are practicing, learning, or using for personal use. Updating from community to professional as a personal license is the exact same thing. You don't need to do that. If for your company, for your organization, if you make more than, there is a dollar figure you can see in the licensing for the community edition. Once you cross that level of income, then you do need to upgrade to professional. Enterprise, I would only get into if you have a really big, sophisticated application system that you are managing. The additional tools that come with Enterprise, they're phenomenal tools. For somebody who's in a personal case using Visual Studio, I wouldn't recommend getting into Enterprise unless you had a very large system that you were managing and you needed those extra tools. Professional is good enough for most folks. Larger organizations, larger companies, governments will buy Enterprise, the Enterprise licenses, because they'll get a quantity discount, and it makes sense then to buy the Enterprise licenses. So, I'd like to move that to a different folder. I'm going to move you over here, and I'm going to move you. See, I don't want it in features because it's not a feature. It's a model. So I'm going to move you into models and change this, right? We should be able to... Really? And then I don't need this. Yep. But if I go back over here, it's already got it. Good. So I don't need to update anything there. And it did a little bit of a hot reload behind the scenes for me. VS Code and command line, yeah. They work great together. No questions asked. I haven't been keeping up with the question queue here. Torvik asked a question. Have I ever developed desktop apps for Linux? I have not. And if I had to, I would be using the Uno platform for that. It's a great set of tools that delivers nicely for that. So, let me see here. There was a question, is Copilot coming to Aspire? Copilot's in Aspire. It already is. Oh, Copilot's really good in Aspire. If you haven't... yeah, Copilot in Aspire is really good stuff. Those are specific for Visual Studio, those templates, which that's fine for most folks. But if you want to update the templates that are used by the .NET command line, it's in that folder that I was pointing to. So, this looks like it's going to work well. I mean, the .NET Watch kicked in and looks like it's running properly. So I'm okay with, I think I'm okay with that. If I bring the map back up, right, I'm going to zoom in on the northeast here. I'm in Philly. Boom. Got that one. Ramtena. Yeah, let's push that one a little bit. Where was it? Somebody was saying they're watching from West Virginia earlier. And I'm forgetting. I'm so sorry, I forget. Was it Aztec? Yeah, Aztec Consulting. So 6 locations in Eastern North America. Go ahead. It's well, so Leonardo, you've already recorded a location, so it's not going to go find another location. So only once will it go and locate for each for each chatter. So not bad. Yeah, I feel like that can expand a little bit more. Antarctica? Yep, Timbuktu. Okay, sure. Brazil, one in Sao Paulo. There we go. Yeah, it's a limitation just so I don't have a flood of people moving images around, moving pins around over here. So, yeah, now we're getting a few more in here. Why do we have 2? Where's that one? Oh, Maryland and... Okay. So it lumped those 2 together. That's fine. So, Finland, it just places on Helsinki. And it... So... Yeah, we got one there in Hyderabad. There you go. So, that looks like it's handling, I mean, with just a few tests there, it looks like it's handling better. And if I look at the Aspire dashboard, yeah, Rock Cut State Park near Rockford, Illinois. Where did that one go? From the Bog Rat. With respect, I'm going to grab your chat message there, the Bog Rat. How you doing, friend? Good to see you. So I'm going to... Yeah, I wanted you to keep all of those things. Go ahead. And I'll... This can go away, because I fixed that. So can this. Yeah, go ahead, add those. And yeah, it did respond not found, but I'm going to fix it right now. So where is that? Not this one, not that one. In here is where it does the locations, right here. I'd like to support a format, a formatted location like, and return Rockford, Illinois. Let's see what it says. So, and with hot reload on, as this patches it, it'll be able to pick up and handle that. Sorry about that, Tech Workbench. So what do we got here? Add a new pattern specifically for state parks, national parks, or similar venues that include location information with near or in. So if it finds visiting in the state, park, national park, or park, forest, preserve, recreation area, near, in, at, close to, and then some location. So there is a list of words that it filters on to say, if it finds one of these, we're going to proceed and do location check. And, no, what are you doing? No! We have location tests in the unit test project. And let me add that test. Right there. I've linked them. Now you want a channel reward to play with the team's call sound? So I do have the animation... I do have an animation playback feature working. There you go. So there's exactly your statement there, Bograt. And Yellowstone, Devil's Lake State Park near Baraboo, Wisconsin, Starved Rock State Park near Ottawa, Illinois. And it's going to run those tests, and we'll see. Yeah, you can't run because I have it running in the background. Wah, wah, wah. Pause that. Yeah, good. No. Go back over here. Run the location tests. These ones. No, we have an error. What do you got? Returns expected location. Uh-huh. Well, open that up. It did not get that one. There's an error with the Baraboo, Wisconsin test location. I know that's behind my head, but you don't need to see all that. Vibe coding in VS Code? A little bit. A little bit. And letting it clean up some tests, letting it fix some of these things, I'm okay with. Stop writing tests in little CS files when you have the tests unit test project available. I spelled available wrong. So, channel point rewards I have to configure, and I wanted to get, I need to get some of my longer, more complex sound effects loaded in as cheer rewards. So, like, and then I have to get that configured, right? The animation feature that is built doesn't know how to do the, here's one command, choose randomly from this collection of sound effects. I have to update that. Add that in. Hey, Warm Peas. Hello. So, some of the popular sound effect commands I'm going to leave as free, but some of the longer ones I'll turn into a cheer reward. Like, where did it go? Oh yeah, I'm recruiting folks.
I want rustlers.
Yes.
Cutthroats.
You do.
Murderers.
Yes.
Bounty hunters.
Lots of folks.
Desperados.
Mhm.
Mugs. Pugs. Thugs.
Absolutely.
Nitwits. Halfwits. Dimwits.
Dimwits.
Vipers,
Love them.
Snipers. Con men. Agents. Bandits.
Yes.
Muggers. Bushwhackers.
Absolutely.
Hornswagglers. Horse thieves. Train
Yes.
robbers. Bank robbers.
Oh my gosh.
Diggers, and Methodists.
You went a little filthy there. And yes, I did edit that a little bit. There are a couple of things that he says in the original quote there that I both bleeped and edited out. Those we took care of. Is GitHub Copilot great for code reviews? It's pretty good. We use it as a first pass to review some things and raise some initial concerns based on a series of rules that we've configured it with. So it would throw me off. That's part of the goal with the channel points. Yes, is throw me off. I want you to. All right, so if I restart, and the bog rat, you still out there? Yeah, using the AI to generate regex, right? Like, let's dig into that. Go ahead and you can just arrow up there in the chat box, and it'll go back to your previous chat message. Go ahead and try that, and it should load that onto the map now, right near Rockford, Illinois. That should pop up. Right, if I zoom in a little bit more. So we looking for that. Come on. Go ahead, take a look. It says it got it, but I don't see it on the map. There it is. Yeah, we got a couple folks in the UK. How you doing, Warm Peas? That's a good question, Ionescu. That's a question that I need to be able to support. Let me go back to that throttling, because it doesn't look like it pushes it back. Right, if it goes and looks up, it doesn't look like it publishes the event properly. Which, that's legit, I get it. Right, so, nominate them. There we go. When this, here, where we go? Open chat in the editor, close that. Move you over here, close this, John. And, when this method runs, it doesn't look like it's properly raising the event and updating the location so it appears on the map components, particularly the overlay map. I'm not seeing new pins that have been geolocated appearing after they've been discovered from Nominatum. Right, I think it's spelled Nominatum wrong. Nominatim. And I still have, yeah. I still had the text to speech. And make sure it has this highlighted. Good. What do you got here? So it got the location. Did it get Worcestershire? 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 Did it get that one? Yep, geocoded that one and cached it. So here's the thing. When you folks do request a location that I don't currently have cached, it expands and adds that location to the cache. So next time, it doesn't have to go look it up. Or if somebody else from your region, from your town, mentions it, doesn't have to look it up. Might be in the incomplete line in the user selection. Let me check the exact line shown. Yeah, sure, go ahead. Event is raised in there. It never calls back to trigger this method. Oh. Okay. Code looks correct when a location is found. It does call record and plot location. Let me check that method. It raises the on new location plotted. Mm-hmm. It is properly subscribing. Check the on new location handle. Event handler looks correct. No. Yeah, fix that. No, I don't want you doing that because I already have it running in the background. See, it's right over here. I already have the app running in the background and in .NET Watch mode. Looks like it built properly. So, cool. Two geocode request classes. What? No. No, what are you doing? No. No, comma. I want to keep the instance of the class that's running in the models folder, not the one residing in the features folder. Quote space GLaDOS, and it'll play a GLaDOS quote. Because the quote has several different types of quotes that it will, several different characters that it will emulate. Okay. Getting that. Right? Modifying libraries and classes just like a programming intern. Yeah. Yeah. So, exclamation point, quote, space, Gladys. Right? And it also knows about the Emperor. It knows about Thanos. It knows about Hal. I think those are the big ones it knows. Once again, I left text-to-speech running. All right. So what did we change here? Geocoding request. Cool. Yep. Looks good to me. So kept that. This thing, get rid of that. Get rid of this one too. And this. And this. I hate when it goes in. Right? Copilot, it wasn't doing this for a while. Copilot has this knack of saying, I'm going to go create a little application to go and test something. No! Don't do that! So I'll queue those up. There you go. Publish that. All right. There you go. Okay. So that was one of the first things that getting that working. The bot repeating messages in the text. Let me see if I can fix that real quick. Yeah. It should check in here if it's already visible and not doing that. I don't think this duplication check that I've highlighted is working properly. Take a look at that. There is no T-Pain quote. No. No. Several problems. I'm calling track recent messages after it. Deduplication check happens outside the write lock, but the tracking happens inside it. Race condition. So we've got to give it a way to expire some of those. So if the message to type has been queued a second time, exit the write lock and return. We've already got it in the queue. Okay. Improve the dedupe logic to move it inside the write lock. Okay. I don't have Lightning McQueen quotes. Cool. So fantastic. I knew there was a problem in there, and I'm glad identified. Fix that, John, and get it deployed. All right. Right? It should have read that one.
I'm making a note here, huge success. At failing basic programming concepts at Sharp Fritz. Your consistency is remarkable.
That's so nice of you. And if we do how?
It can only be attributable to human error.
What can? And I'll do Thanos to wrap it up.
I am inevitable. Your bugs cannot escape my analysis forever, Fritz.
See? All right. Moving on. So looking at my list here. So we did that. I'm not going to work on the location change capabilities. Copilot mentioned Claude in the retort. No, I'm not going to go into that. Not going to go into that one right now. I do want to talk about and dive into this idea of recreating the map and triggering Playwright. Let me show you what I've started down the path of here, and that I think is going to turn into something really interesting. This I started off with a prompt also. And I can't believe where I got to with this. Check. Really? So, with this one, I told it to start by getting the documentation for that Playwright Docker container that has the browsers in it so I can control that remotely. Then I also told it to go get the source code to the Olama Resource Builder extensions. And I asked it, I want your help creating a .NET Aspire integration for the Playwright Docker container I linked, right? These fetch commands, #fetch, tells Copilot, go get this web page. Add it into what you already know, right? Add that as more background context. Use a format and technique similar to that of the Olama resource source code linked. And it did a phenomenal job getting me pretty close to that. So what I have at this point with this little project, and this is open source. You can find this on my GitHub. GitHub.com C# Fritz. And here it is. Aspire Playwright integration. I'll share this link into chat so you can take a look at that. You'll have the link pop up. There it is on YouTube. So what this does at this point, I have extensions now so that that's not the one I want to show you. There's two pieces here. I have a hosting extension so that you can tell Aspire, start up Playwright in a container. So add Playwright and give it a name, and here's the port I want you to listen to. And it starts up a Playwright container with all the browsers running in it for you and manages it. I then wrote the client extension so that it's wired up to a host application builder. So you can put this into a console application or a web application and connect to Playwright. So this will go connect to the Playwright service name that you pass in. Hey, add Playwright, and go to this service name, and here's some other configuration options that I have. So check this out. In my test scenario here, and we'll come back to some of this, right? I'll leave that one open. So here in App Host, so this is a .NET Aspire application system, right? We're orchestrating, and I started with just the default template. API service, web front end, and there, add Playwright. I specified with data volume because I don't want it downloading the browser cache every time, right? If it's not sitting there in memory for the container, it goes and downloads it again. So by calling with data volume, it doesn't go and download it again. I should probably do a lifetime persistent here. And then I added a console application called sample tests. Add a reference to Playwright, add a reference to the web front end, so that inside, that's not it, inside my sample tests, here we go. Yeah, you're not supposed to be there. We moved on from you. There's a little test runner top level class, not even class, yeah it is, that has a public static async main that adds Playwright, builds, and will run the tests right there using XUnit and the XUnit test runner right there. So I can run these tests from the Aspire dashboard. This is, I think this is pretty cool. So let me do .NET run. Really? Come here. Thank you. .NET run project sample app host. So that it starts up, launches the Aspire dashboard, gives me the application running, starts Playwright, and then runs the test. I have one test written in here, and it's a simple go to the counter page. I'll show you this in a second. Let's go to the dashboard. It opened off screen, so I'll bring that up. So here's the Aspire dashboard, right? We were talking about what is Aspire. The dashboard is part of this. There's my web front end right there. And here's the test. There's Playwright running. And if I open this up, I can see all this logging that I have it writing. And this is, right, very early in building this out. I have it logging basically everything, right? So it wrote out, it found the web front end. It's going to connect to it with host Docker internal because Playwright's running inside of a container. It needs to break outside the container to get to the host where it's running on 5109. Goes and connects to it and starts loading pages and interacting. So it went to the counter page, found the initial counter text, the value is 0, click the button, counter is now 1, and it did properly pass the test that it clicked the counter button and incremented the count. It's a dumb test. It's a stupid test. But it validates that from Aspire, I've started Playwright, and I can connect into it and start running it against another resource managed by Aspire. So I've got a start here. Heck Radar with the question. It's a great question. What happens when the page needs authentication? Yes. So there are ways to pass in authentication tokens to remember a cookie and pass in that information. Whoa! Hey, Ellie Face. Your house was almost struck by lightning. Are you okay? Are you okay? I mean, you're on Twitch. Like, pause for a second here. One of our friends, he was a block away and loud. Oh. Okay. I'm done my coffee. That is scary. I get it. I totally get it. That would a tornado touched down 2 blocks over. 2 blocks? No, 2 blocks outside of my neighborhood. There was an F1 tornado touched down briefly. That was like 2 years ago. Like, so I know what you're saying. And I'm concerned because some of our friends in Tennessee said that they had really big storms yesterday, late afternoon, evening. And I get the storms, or Ellie Face lives about an hour west of me. So storms come through, she gets them first, and then they come through and hit here. Yeah, we're gonna get slammed pretty good here. So, glad you're okay. That's good to hear. So, I'm not looking forward to that this afternoon. And I have a couple meetings and presentations this afternoon. So if it takes about an hour or two to get here, I'm going to be interrupted. Lanky Scottish Nerd asked me a question here a little bit. What MCP server do I run? I'm not running an MCP server, but I do connect and use Playwright, the GitHub MCP server, and the Microsoft Learn documentation. So, you like thunder and lightning, but yeah, that is close. A block away. Was there any damage to buildings, homes, trees down the street from you there? I mean, I'm assuming you didn't go running down the street to take a look, but so I probably shouldn't have asked that question. But I'd be curious. Don't think so. No sirens. Okay, that's good. That's good. So, there was, when we were kids, one of our friends, her house on the other side of the neighborhood from us, so a good 3/4 of a mile away. That's about a kilometer for folks, you out there using the metric system, the non-American folks. Lightning struck their house and blew a hole through their roof. And I mean, it was a hole about the size of a car tire that in the roof that we went driving by later. We're like, oh my gosh. And for the better part of a month or so, they had a tarp on the roof, and they were going through things with the insurance company to get it repaired and all that. Oh, just a real struggle. And yeah, any kind of weather damage like that is always scary. Hey, Thindall, hello. So let me back up to there we go. This question from Heck Radar. What happens when the page needs authentication? So if you're working with a page that needs authentication with Playwright, you can teach Playwright, you can write subroutines that teach it how to click the login button and give it some test credentials to work with. A better way to do that is to actually set up Playwright. You can record and capture that token that the login process returns and add that to your requests so it's automatically logged in. And you can get help with that using the simulator. The simulator? the Playwright tools that connect right up to the browser. You go, you log in, and it will capture all that information for you so you can replay it. So, thanks so much for the question. Hey, Thindall. Yeah, I see. Who just dropped that? Groversaurus adding a pin for Spain. Should have gotten that one. Right? Yeah. Yeah, there we go. In Soria, Spain. That one's on the map. I'll go back and you'll be able to see that one pop in here. Did I make the big announcement yet? What was it? No, I didn't make a big announcement. I mean, not really an announcement. So there you go. But I've been building, right? I've been building a tool that lets you run the Playwright server and connect to it from .NET Aspire. We're going to see that. I just showed a little bit of it, but we're going to see a little bit more of that in shortly here. So there we go. Mid-Atlantic area where I am, and there's, right, there I am in Philadelphia area and Maryland. So zoom out. Always fun to play with the map. Yeah, how did the talk go? I wasn't able to get there last night. So watching from Portugal, I don't think it picked up the... No, it didn't pick up the Portugal location. Give me 1 second. Where did it go? No, it didn't even try to. It didn't even try to get that one. Freda the cat. Try it again. We should get that one. That one should pop up and see it come through here. Because it picked up Groversaurus. It's like it didn't even acknowledge your message. Let me continue here with what I was doing with Playwright here. Not from Sofia, Bulgaria. You're trying to be difficult here. Did not place that. So. Nope, and didn't try and log that one either. Try and look it up. So, all right. I was back over here. So this test runs nicely. Right, I saw it go through and connect and do the navigation. So what I can do from here, what the feature that I have built and will work at this point, right? So I have a Playwright fixture that will get connected, right? So, and I feel like this is something I'm going to want to wrap up here and make available because this gets a little dicey. Adding Playwright, and I can make that specific to this system. Yes, you're connecting to the Playwright service called Playwright. Get everything initialized and make the Playwright service and the browser connected and working. So that from my test over here, I'm reaching into the fixture, the Playwright fixture, which has that page created. Yeah. So it grabs that Playwright orchestration that's connected out to the server. Where'd it go? Here. Creates a page. Hey, go create and get me connected out there. And go to inside a specific Aspire resource, the web front end resource, this address. So what this lets me do by introducing this extra method, it lets you specify we're looking for another resource in Aspire that has this name. Fantastic. And I don't think I need to worry about making that work in production, because you're not going to run tests in production. I don't think, at least. So for my needs to get this working inside of Charlie so that I can recreate and load those screenshots, I think it's good enough for right now. I'm playing with my keyboard fidget. So have you seen these? If you went to build, there were these keyboard fidgets that they were giving out, and they light up as you press them. And you hold it down and they blink. And they gave us, you could find throughout the conference center cool little keycaps. So these were being given out at Microsoft Build. So they initially came with white keycaps, but as you walked around the venue, you could find additional keycaps. I really like this, right? And it's a keychain. I really like this as a swag giveaway. I really like this. Like, getting custom keycaps made with some of the emotes from channel, those would be cool. One for each hand? No, that's a little over the top. Could I? I also got a t-shirt, did not get a t-shirt. Nope. Speakers don't. I didn't get a build t-shirt. I have an Aspire team t-shirt that I got there. So, this does all that I need it to do for my Charlie feature that's going to let me reload and show the map for a previous time. And I think I can do a screenshot here and return it. So here's, I just got a notification. They released Lizzo for Beat Saber. Okay. You've got no plans for Saturday? Oh, okay. Okay. So let me I'm going to grab these two projects, Aspire Hosting Playwright and Aspire Playwright Client. And these don't have any project references, right? These are just NuGet references. For the purpose of, say, getting my feature built in Charlie, these I'm going to turn into NuGet packages and get them rolled out. Here's the thing that is broken that I haven't figured out yet, that I'm waiting for some help on. That's the map. I'm not looking at the map. Over here. If you look at the traces, it didn't write any, all of that log information, it didn't write a trace. I have some metrics in there and it didn't write any metrics. But the values, the log is here. So something's disconnected with my service defaults where it's not taking these log messages and putting them properly into the Aspire dashboard. So I've got some work to do there. Like, it's not ready for prime time, but we're getting there. We're getting there. All right. Let me grab those two projects. Now that I've shown you what it does, we're up to 13 locations over here. Look at this. Did it ever plot Portugal? No. Who was it who was saying they were from Portugal and it didn't plot? Because I can do the location set command there for you. Oh, and I'm sorry, Jan, is it Jan's the Surlu asking, have I ever worked with Podman? I have not. Podman does work with .NET Aspire as well. I should at some point work with it just so I get that experience and I know what's going on there. Freddy the Cat, there you go. That's the one I'm looking for. Let me try setting that location. Location set Freda the cat. That. There we go. Got that one in the mix. And it's my icon because I said because I issued the location command. War Ice Dev. There we go. We got you in Kentucky. Yeah, there we go. All right. I'll take it. Thindal, dropping a pin on Sweden. Yes. You've been curious to try it out because it's always nice to have alternatives to try out Podman. I understand in some organizations where they don't want to allow root access to things, they don't want to allow super user access, Podman is definitely preferred. And I get it. However, you don't get the enterprise licensing that you do with Docker. So, thanks so much for the question. Okay, cool. All right. It's mostly a drop-in replacement, says Nalian, but things get tricky if you're doing container in a container. Oh, yeah. Right? Container in a container, it gets a little crazy. So, I'm zoomed in a bit there. Run the tour. So I'm literally going to copy those two projects and drop them into the Charlie service just because I don't have NuGet packages for them yet, but they work good enough for me to try writing out this feature. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's okay. So I'll copy paste them in for now and we'll replace them with real NuGet packages in the future. There we go. There was Hyderabad. And Mendoza, Argentina. There we go. The new Stream Deck module. No. What's the new Stream Deck module? Which one are you... What are you talking about? What do we got? Designed for makers and OEMs, Stream Deck module is an unbranded, integration-ready keypad available in various sizes. Oh, look at that. Well, that makes sense. Available in all three sizes, 15, 32, and 6 keys. Cool. Yeah, I have no use for it, but being able to build for it is absolutely a plus. And we built a library that works with the Stream Deck a long time ago, and we haven't kept up with it. But turns out the Stream Deck is just a little screen. It's just a little screen. So, table full of Stream Decks. Yeah, I believe it. Yep, a little screen. Well, right in the buttons trigger that part of the screen. And you're right, the Bograt. There are people who have written Stream Deck emulation apps. Apps that do the same thing. That's fine. The convenience of the Stream Deck is you have this handheld, a very tactile thing that you can interact with. So, yeah, it's one screen that has buttons, clear buttons over the screen that when you press, either refreshes that part of the screen, right, and it sends a message back that, hey, this button was pressed. So, all right. let me go over and I'm going to copy in that capability that I had started with here. Okay. I've got a request from one of the admin folks. Something I need to get back to later. Cool, we're in the clear. Moving on. So Aspire, what do we got in here? I'm going to copy each of the Aspire star recursive and go to D, Fritz, Charlie. And if I jump over to that project, I should I should be able to load this up and point to those Playwright bits and get them. Yeah, there they are. So let me add references so that we can use those. So I'll just open up the console down here at the bottom. So in my app host, yeah, that one. .NET add reference. Thank you. Right, Aspire hosting Playwright. Thank you. I need to add both of them to the solution. Aspire hosting, there it goes.
You humans are a disease, a virus of inefficient algorithms.
I am not.
I am. The cure.
You are nasty. That's what you are, Charlie. .NET solution add, and we're going to also add Aspire Playwright client. Cool. I think that's it. What do you mean failed to restore NuGet packages? Oops. Fritz, not you. I've got macro keys on my Digma keyboard here, and if I'm not lined up right, I end up going off and all of a sudden macros start appearing. So if I .NET restore, that should all work. Should all work. What? Oh. Okay. I need to migrate these over so they're using central package management. What? You delete that path. I don't care about that. Where was the other one? There was another one down here. You, test regex, goodbye. You, test park regex, goodbye. And you, test results. You're out of here too. All right. We'll get there. So up here, we need to migrate these to use central package management. Not that one. This one. I don't need to specify a version. And yeah, I know. Let's put these side by side. Right? So we can kind of look at the two. Microsoft extensions, configuration, abstractions. That's not in there, so Microsoft extensions, logging abstractions. That's not in there either. Neither is Playwright. And I bet you system diagnostics. Nope, that one is. That one is. So I'm gonna put these, I don't know, somewhere up in here. These are supposed to be package versions. Good. Let's see. Oh, darn it. close the thing. I am such a good typer. I do this professionally. And that's my daughter. Make sure everything's okay. Close that again. Let's try this one more time because I am a typist. Here, service discovery. I want to move. No, that one's fine. But configuration abstraction should go up here. Logging should go there. Yeah, okay. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I am a professional. This is C#, yeah. All right, so I should be able to say package reference and get rid of all of these versions. The marching band at Penn State just announced their new drum major, and it's the first female drum major in the history of Penn State, and one of my daughter's friends who used to be a piccolo. Oh my gosh. Fantastic. That is phenomenal. So, great news. Very cool to hear. Yeah. All right, so I've got that copied in. All right, that's adjusted. That's addressed for the hosting project. And up to the client. These client extensions that I've been building. Let's enhance this one. All right, there we go. Extensions, configuration, abstractions. We have that one, so we can remove that version. Extensions hosting. We don't have that one. So we're going to bring you into the fold here, friend. Right? And we need to change that so it's not a package reference, but a package version. Which means this can lose that. Extensions, logging, abstractions, we got that one. Microsoft Playwright, we got that one already. OpenTelemetry. Extensions, hosting, we got that one. Exporter, OpenTelemetry protocol, we got that one too. Cool. So the rest of these, I can remove the versions. And these should build now. And I could have asked the AI to do that, but that feels like another one of those I'm burning tokens for the sake of burning tokens things. Run .NET restore and make sure that goes. There we go. Fantastic. So Charlie is running in the background here. Did I miss anything here? What happened? What happened? Oh, yeah, we got that. All right. Let me add Playwright to my app, right? To the system here, right? I'll just add it somewhere in here. Playwright equals builder at... Now, why don't you know that? I know why. I know why. Because I added it as a project reference. Is Aspire project resource equals false? And back over here. There, it found it. With data volume, yeah. This is a feature that I think would be fantastic to build on stream, and you can't see it right now. Let me do that, and there it goes. Right? I was going to say there was a with web UI here. That's a feature that I can't wait to build. Give you a web user interface into Playwright reports that you can open and interact with in the Aspire dashboard. Yes. Yes, that's coming. I think that's going to be really, really cool to use. What the heck? I lost the Aspire dashboard. Oh well. No, not oh well. I'm going to need that. Building, yeah. In case you don't know, I have a mini monitor just beneath my main screen here, so that I can have stuff just off screen that I can interact with. There we go. All right. So Playwright's now running. There it is. Certainly Dev shared a clip. Yeah, that was a while ago, dude. That was a while ago. Okay. Next step. I can add Playwright and do this reload of the map. Right? So let me close all these. Nah. Yeah, sure. Go ahead, close them. I don't care. That's fine. And up here in my docs, right? Here it is. Yeah, go ahead, add that. And I'm going to add the client there. Let's start building this historical map screenshot feature. I've got Playwright running. In my Aspire system, and we can add Playwright to the web project using the add Playwright extension method. All right. Let it fly. Let's see what the agent starts putting together for us. So it's got the documentation that it wrote over here that lands right where we want it to, with defining the feature. And I'm just going to have Playwright go and figure out exactly what we want to do here. So it is a little bit of vibe coding, and I could have added some of these things and started building a chunk of it myself. I could have, but it's going to do this a lot faster than I would have. And I'll be able to project manage it and kind of steer it towards completion. Yup. No. No. You're not going in the right direction here. Well, I guess we need to. You know what? I'm going to work on this by hand. I'm going to start down that path by hand because I feel like it. So here I should be able to do builder.add playwright. Yeah, add playwright. And it's not like that at all. Because what I have set up, I host application builder, add playwright. And it's in Microsoft Extensions hosting. I probably need that using statement, don't I? Yeah, it's not there. Okay. Nope. And it is called Playwright in my solution. I don't need those other things, thank you. So all of these things want to be reloaded now. And do I need... There's another half of this that does use Playwright. That sets up a Playwright logger. Nah, don't need it. Oh, heck, do it. Do it anyway. Why don't you like that? Web application is an iHost application builder. This, right? This thing is an iHost application builder. So that should work. And in fact, it does work. Because Charlie restarted. Yeah. So I'm going to ignore that. And down here in the app use section, yeah, it's not seeing those at all. Rebuild. See, building. Really? I'm attaching to the interfaces that those hang off of. And I should be able to see them. I have to turn these off so you can see. Right, that should work. Shouldn't this line work since web application builder inherits from iHost application builder? Go ahead. Does it make a difference if I add the project reference? I did. I did add the project. Right, and that's for the web host. The use Playwright. Right, this reference isn't here. Stop. Yeah, it's missing a project reference right there. All right. Fine. .NET add reference Aspire Playwright client. There it is. Back over here, and you should go away. Ah, there it is. And if I go back over to the console, where's my console? I thought I had a console here. This one. There it goes. Playwright connection string, Playwright not found. It's there. It should be there. I didn't add a reference here. So that it knows to launch it. Not just hot reload. You got to reload the whole John. Yeah, I forgot to add a project reference. And then I forgot to reference the service. There we go. So that should reload all the things. And we should get these back. There they go. All right. And retry that. Yeah, go ahead and reload. There's Playwright and the website. Oh, wait a sec. Connection strings Playwright. There it is. And if we open that up, yes, I know. Show the value. There it is. So WebSocket localhost 3003. And that's where this is. And it's running. So good. I've got all those pieces. Next steps. I need to set up Playwright inside of a web page somewhere, and I need a web page that will load that historic map. That shouldn't be too hard, right? So close that. Close that. We'll get back to you in a bit. I need a page that will show historic maps, and I already have. Right? I already have the component that displays the map. And it has methods here so that I can inject locations. So there it is, plot location. So let's do that. Right? I'm going to create a page, right? Inside here, new file, and let's call this historic map. We're going to listen on that was good. Historic map. Sure, that works. I don't know about that. But I want the chatter map direct. Auto subscribe to feature equals false. I don't want this listening for the other, for when folks in chat send through a message. I don't want it listening for that. I do want to inject the repository. Where is it? Where did I save it? Chat service. Got too many classes. Personality messages. Yeah. Where'd it go? My lord, there's a lot. Yeah. iViewer location service. Really? Okay. I'm gonna find one of those. There it is. Get locations for a stream. Bingo. Hey, Copper's Beard. Hello. In Seville. Don't think we got that one. Oh, well, it might be because the bot died. Yeah. Because I'm not done with that yet. Here. Viewer location service. Sure. That should restart. You're gutted you missed it? I'm gonna ask folks that just shared their location to share it one more time. Because it looks like we've got quite the crowd from Spain tuning in. Go ahead, try that again. Copper's Beard, Code by Mistakes. Lurky Dev, the Cliptographer. And we'll get those loading up. There we go. Valencia, yeah. The Unoriginal Jerk. There we go. There we go. Thank you so much, friends. And, yeah, sorry about that. We're adding features. So, over here in the code... yeah. No, that's not what we want to do. We want to get locations for stream, and I don't know what that stream ID is going to be yet. From query. Sure. Let's not call it stream, let's call it stream ID. No, this should be parameter. I forget the parameters. What are the parameters? No. So just stream ID. That works. What are you doing down here? How'd you friends get down there? Yeah, we're gonna pass in stream ID there. I don't know what it's gonna do yet, but we're gonna do that. Jedi Mega Man trying to overflow the bot there. Oh gosh. But some of our new friends from Spain there that were dropping their locations. There you go. Lurky Dev, it didn't pick up your location. Lurky Dev. Yeah. There we go. I've got Valencia. Let's see. And the cliptographer. I can set up that location. Now, should have hit it. Yeah, unable to. Yep, unable to find that. We should have seen. Yep, look at them. Portugal. Did not find it. Didn't even try. Interesting. I'm going to take a note of that and we'll address it some other time. Moving on. So I was back over here. We're going to take in a stream ID and go get the locations for that. Okay. Fine. And actually, we shouldn't do that on initialize. This should be on, no. On, after render. No. And then I need to pass them in and set the locations. Sure. And how do I do that on the regular overlay? Right, because that's this one. So when it loads, wires up the events. Where's that? Where is that used? On map initialized. There is an on map initialized. And then load persisted locations. There it is. I'm going to want the exact same stuff. Let's grab that, bring it over here, put it in there like that. Yes. That's fine. We can wait until that. Right? And then... No. Over here. On map initialized. So chatter map, that's an at. It's got an at ref on that. Yep. Let's bring you back in here. Thank you. All right. So we can manipulate the map now directly. What's this? I'm okay with those. I don't like them there, but I'm okay with that for now. Yeah, let's do the load persisted locations, and I'm going to copy that because I think that's exactly what I want to do here. So then this can just be await load persisted locations. And then the stream ID that it's working with is just, yeah, that's right. That's right, Copilot. And if we have locations, load those markers. I think that's it. Like, that feels like all we need for this one. So, let me double check that it's all... I'll stop it. Okay, so if I go to /historic map, right? And I'm just going to change this and go historic-map, and it's stream ID equals... what is the stream ID format? You over here. It is. So if I want to get it for, let's go for the AI workshop. So that was 2025-07-18. Nothing. What happened? Nothing. Did we get any locations? If there's an exception, error loading persisted locations. That's not mine. Over here. Let's... That's good. I'm okay with that. How did we do now? Take a look back over here. So... I should... Let's just put that wrap on there just to be safe. No. No. What do we got here? Restart. I have a feeling we're in an order of events thing. Let's see what we get. Man, that rebuild's sure taking a long time. There we go. Loaded 0 persistent locations for stream. Well, that's frustrating. Yeah, reload. Back over here. Take a look at the cache. Yeah, you. So if I look through at this, key prefix is chatter map dash colon locations. Oh! We gotta stop it very soon. Locations. There we go. And I thought 2025-07-18. 2025-07-18. That looks right. For stream ID. Oops. Mm-hmm. Doesn't have a stream ID. No. Why am I forgetting my Blazor to get that from query string? It's been that long since I've done this. Yeah. Shouldn't this parameter load when I pass in a query string of stream ID? Usually route parameters. Supply parameter from query. That's what I want. How did I forget that, man? And stream ID is... Yeah. Now, what don't you like about that? I need to say name equals, that's what. Did not get the reference. Reload that. Come on now. I bet it hot reloaded wrong. I'm watching the sky out here to see if those storms are going to hit. That our friend Ellieface had just a little bit ago. There it is. That was a really good stream for some of our locations. Okay, I want to put this on an empty layout. Now we're getting somewhere, right? Layout, empty layout. Yeah, you need a using statement, don't you? Thank you. Layout's gone. What are you doing down there? And I also don't need to show the tour, but I want to get as much as possible in there, you know what I mean? Layout null, yeah, I hear you on that one. Just like we do in MVC. Yeah. Let me go to this. And I'd like to be able to pass in a parameter to turn off the tour controls. You know? And yeah. Right. Wrong one. Yep, parameter. Public bool show tour controls. That works. Back over here. If show tour controls. Cool. Yeah, that's reloading. So now over here, I can also add show tour controls equals false. And it doesn't show it. Also doesn't show the map. There we go. Can I set the height to 100%? Can I do that? Can we do 100 VH? You don't like that. If I make that a string... Yeah, we want to full screen that. Yeah. If I make that a string and default it... Right? That should work. Maybe not. If I make it 100%, will it... No. Hang on. Hang on. Where else are you used? Fine, roll it back. I can make this 1,000. A little bit big. Right? 1080 by... no. 1920 by 1080, but I've got the thing at the top. So let's make it 900. Almost. Yeah, there we go. But still not quite there. So maybe I tell Playwright to take some screenshots and stitch them together? That could be a thing. Let's just make this... Make it 600. Then I gotta zoom out real far. I'd prefer to get... if I were to do like that... Really? And then kind of, well, that works actually. Just get that screenshot. Yeah. So I kind of want to center over the prime meridian. Let me ask, I do need to stop. After the map is loaded, center the map over the prime meridian. There we go. Go figure that out. Couldn't I use Blazor JavaScript interop to get the window height? I don't want the window height. Because I'm going to tell Playwright exactly how big I want the window to be that it opens. And then go take that screenshot. So I could make it a giant image. Take that screenshot. Right? I could make it like some 10,000 pixel wide image that's 9,000 pixels tall and take that screenshot. And that's going to be a really big image, which will give us a little bit better zoom in, to be frank. So you're going to add a method called center over prime meridian. Okay. Center over Greenwich, England. No. No. Doesn't this have a method zoom to... There's plot location, remove location, start tour, get location description, stop tour, on tour status changed, work on the clustering logic, I don't care about that, support classes that work with this, add marker, clear all markers, get marker, load markers, process test message, yeah, update test result, event handlers, that's frustrating. Dispose, I thought there was a zoom. Like a zoom to location. Because when it does the tour, it ends fine. No, over here. Go ahead and continue. Yeah, add that to the map component. Exactly. Yeah. So then it should be able to say zoom to Greenwich. Okay. You're gonna add a null check? Fine. Good, no errors found. It does work correctly because it's running in the background right here. Reload and center over. Now it's centered over Greenwich. I don't want it to center over Greenwich. I want it to center over the equator. So I want it to actually center over 0, 0, 0, 0. So let me make this. Yeah, I know you can't build right now. No, I don't want it to be. Why don't you like that one? So now reload. Really? Double latitude, double longitude. Yeah. What don't you like? You went and fell over. Oh my gosh, look at who it is. Hello there. It's the Maddie Montequilla. How you doing? I am wiring up Playwright using that tool that I was building yesterday so that it takes a screenshot of the map at the end of a stream. So you know the map feature. I've been talking about and showing this off for a little bit. So here's the map from, and man, that loaded right. That's the map from the AI workshop that I ran. But reload that. Where'd you go? What happened? No, it's out there running. Oh, I'm on the wrong service. So the overlay map, so you can see the folks who have hello. No, it's map direct. Wait, I renamed it and I haven't copied the link out. It is, come on, where's the page? Too many pages. Yeah, /overlay/map. /overlay map, and there it is. So we can see all the folks that are tuned in watching, who have shared their location. Yeah, congrats to you, and our friend Maddie sings in a band, and she has an album dropping tomorrow. So I'm going to just drop a location there for Boston. It didn't add the location. Oh, it's location set, that's why. I got the command backwards. There it is. So, yeah, right? And it automatically does all the grouping when we zoom out. So, a bunch of folks in the mid-Atlantic area. Yeah, that's right. So, the historic map now I want Playwright to take a screenshot of that when I call for it. And I've got a method, and I've got a plugin, and I've got a Aspire extension. Check this out. An Aspire integration that will connect and create a Playwright capability. I just deleted it because I wanted to Control Plus. And it's not doing that. Right? Are you kidding me? Wait, what? I'm in full Visual Studio, that's why. No matter. Yeah, so it's going to load that up auto-magically. I was trying to do, thinking I was over here. So I've got Playwright added right there. And I've got too many dashboards just hanging out here running. And it's right there. So now I can instruct it, go and get a screenshot. Is her album I aspire to wear a blazer? No. No. But it was filmed in... Come on, I'm going to get this right. Yeah, it was filmed in Maui. That's a thing. Okay. Moving on. So I am actually near time here. So I know how to make it navigate to this page. I need to set up a web page inside the application that I can select a stream ID, have it reach out and direct Playwright to navigate to this page, grab a screenshot, and return that to me, right? 2 or 3 steps there, and bring it back. Let me commit what I have. I love the 2-click commit. Stage everything, go get me a commit message for this, push. Now, where did that design document go? Right, historic. Yeah, there it is. And historic map razor, add context, all the open editors. I need a page added to the website that allows me to look at the various location storage records for streams in the past. I want to be able to select one of those location records for a stream and instruct Playwright to navigate to the historic map page for that stream ID. I want Playwright to take a screenshot and return that image to me. Let's see if it does it. And I still have dictation turned on. So, mostly working out, but there are a couple things we had to fix. Yeah, getting a Maui app running in Aspire. Yep. So, here goes this. So, Maddie and I are giving an Aspire demo in about an hour. And I'm still streaming. No big deal. No big deal. Let me add a method to get all the stream IDs. Fantastic. Get the Playwright extensions. Yes. No, it's a private demo that we're giving to somebody. Yeah. That's okay. add it to the other service, that's fine. Yep, legit presentation, people. So, let's see if it hits this. Because I need to stop in about 5 minutes. So now we know Thindall by his alias Drax. There you go. So, Aspire Fridays, yes. There should be, the Aspire 9.4 video should have gone live. Did I get an email that that went live? Where did it go? I don't see it yet. They normally notify me when they post it. No, I don't want the telemetry. Just do it. So. No, they were asking me for review last night. I tell you. Browsing and generating screenshots, a Razor page. It's not really a Razor page, but I am getting there. Come on, this would be amazing if it sticks the landing. Right, generate a page that lets me choose from, here's the list of location records that I know in the past. Give me one. And get a screenshot of that giant map with all the locations on it. Come on, you can do it. Created chatter map screenshots, shots, Razor. Yeah! What do we got? Ah, that's fine. Go ahead. Go do it. I don't know what it does, but I like the sound of it already. See, and right, we can do yeah, that's still, oh, I see. None of those are going to run because the bot's furiously building stuff in the background. I see how this works. You turkey. Try that one more time. You're not going to let me do it because of the cooldown. Do it again.
For science. You monster. No, wait, that's unfair to monsters. At least they're competent. Would you like some cake?
Building a simple test to verify. No, stop. It's already running in the background. So now, what's the name of this page? Chattermap dash screenshots. Let's see if it works. Over here. Go ahead and reload. There's the reload. Come on, let's see what you got for me. There we go. No streams with location data found. Didn't work. Okay. Well, I know where to pick up next time. But it's somewhere. It's got a page for me. It has a service that it built in something. But I do need to run. I have a meeting to get to. And then I need to get ready with that. Maddie Montequilla to do a... You shared a clip? To do a presentation in a little bit. So, thanks so much for watching. It's been a pleasure writing code with you. We've been talking about and getting into and causing problems here with Playwright and Aspire. I'm such a big fan of working on these two together. Let me set you up for a raid. I'm going to send you over to go see our friend Layla Codes who's working on a game that she's building in Unity. So let me set up the raid to Layla Codes. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're watching on YouTube, there's lots of great videos down here and over here from the channel. Really appreciate you tuning in. I'll be back. I won't be broadcasting on Tuesday because I'll be at VS Live in Redmond, but I'll be back Thursday and Friday next week. And of course, I'll be hanging out in the Discord if anybody wants to talk or explore a little bit on a little bit of what we're doing with Playwright and Aspire. Have a fantastic rest of your day wherever you might be. I wish you good health and good coding. Take care.